In this age of cutthroat competitions, the word motivation has become the most adored word of our highly motivated and motivation-oriented bosses. Figuratively, they eat motivation every day in their breakfasts and sleep pulling the blanket of motivation and spend the whole day in motivation. Unfortunately, we cannot buy motivation in the market, but it is as essential as food, water, and shelter. How do you imagine a person without motivation? As a pathetic loser who spends his life aimlessly like animals and dies without gaining any name, ampersand fame, or precisely money. More or less, yes. By the way, why is this motivation so serious? I tell you a fact. Motivation is the most abused and harassed word by our grumpy-looking bosses and geeky CEOs. They eat motivation and excrete I'm not supposed to use the other word, motivation. They are so messed up with the word motivation that they have forgotten the true meaning, value and vastness of motivation. They motivate us in meetings, in conversation, at lunch, and while driving. They endeavor to instill motivation in our bodies as though someone blows air into balloons. The most upsetting part of the conversation is when they say you should motivate yourself. So now, you see that they, themselves are not so motivated that they could motivate others without saying motivate yourself. Now the fact is your boss can never motivate you. Boss's motivation is different from employees. The thing which motivates boss doesn't motivate employees. Bosses should know it. Employees know it already. The boss who tries to motivate his employees by telling the stories of Napoleon and Abraham Lincoln are fools. Yes, I said fool, because I'm not supposed to use the word *********. By the way, you are not supposed to say or do many things in offices, and you are supposed to be reminded of it by your boss frequently because the corporate world runs on lots of supposition. I was also not supposed to ask my boss, sir, how am I supposed to get motivated if you pay me the same salary? Even after 2 years. Then I realized my boss had taken my word seriously when in the interview I had told him it is not the salary which motivates employees. Well, you see, I have been doing my job for 2 years at the same salary. You see, money couldn't motivate me to jump to another job. Money does motivate, but not always. I know a guy who was highly motivated by money and incentives what he earned. He worked and worked and worked. Do you know what happened to this poor guy? His motivation was bought by some other company. I do believe very soon he'll get a better client than the current one. It's vicious circle. He's enjoying it. There was another guy who was not so lucky. He was thrown out of the company because he didn't reach the target and didn't deserve the sumptuous salary. Then he realized that the motivation by money is not all. There is also something which is called job security. By the way, that enlightened guy was me. Is job security really motivating me? Here at my new office, it's very warm and easygoing. The job is as good as a clerk's job. Every day, the same thing. There is no fuss, no confusion, no tension, no pesky rule, ampersand regulations, but the lesser salary. However, I don't feel like quitting this place. I want to go on with this job. It feels like something motivating in nature. Yes, it does feel like motivating. Moral of the story. Don't take life so seriously, because it's funny in nature. And you cannot become Bill Gates by working hard. It is the losers like me who run the show.